Look, it's something that happens in the world. All Americans say that Chinamen look alike. You know, and all Chinamen say that Americans look alike. It is something that happens.
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
able to recognize.
and that's the
You
problem.
need
I
to
don't
make an
think that it is
effort. You
something
need to
that's
make
so
an effort. That's
hugely,
multiculturalism.
And that's the problem, Prasad.
you're
You can't say
making it
because
sound
all
like we have-
Africans look alike by saying
Absolutely.
that. That's not done. How can
Absolutely.
someone
I'm not
say?
saying
Yeah,
that at all.
absolutely.
I am
Absolutely.
saying, no, Rahul, what I'm saying is that maybe there was an isolated incident where people were mistaken for someone else and a huge fuss is being made about it. And like this,
No,
there
but
are no
we've just
complaints filed with
established.
anyone.
We've
But
just
that's not
established.
excusable.
We've just established that this isn't an isolated
No,
instance.
I don't think so.
This
I
is
think
happening
what
again
one
and again.
pub does not mean that everyone does the same thing. That's tarring everyone with the same
No, Clovis,
brush.
is this
That's
just
very
one
unfair.
particular pub? Is this just one particular pub? Or are there many? Because we actually had in the report that we played out at the start of the show, pub owners come on record, justify what they were doing. Clovis, is this isolated or is this recurring at various pubs
Yes.
across the city?
Well, on my
Can I
personal
say something,
experience,
please?
I've seen it happen at least 4 different places. That's for starters. Secondly, I mean, just, you know, the fact that I'm out here as a student means that I'd like to walk away not just with my education, but having learned something from the people here. So, I mean, the thing of having an African night, as these other places are doing, is well and good. But I did not come to India to have an African night. You know, I want to actually experience what Bangalore is by
absolutely.
being able to hang out with the Bangaloreans themselves. You know, so if you're going to tell me let's have an African night so that all the Africans be bunched up in one place, no, I don't want
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
I
That's
wanna
a
be able
very
to walk into
fair
a
point.
place
That's a very strong point, Harish
where you
Bijou.
have your big name.
You know, what's
local
the point
DJs
of going to
playing.
New York and have an Indian Bollywood night when you go to New York to get a sense of street music? You can't deny Africans that,
You know,
right?
Absolutely.
Rahul, I agree with that because, you know, I think this business of African nights and European nights and Indian nights is all really wrong. It's a kind of a ghettoization of the foreign national which is going to happen. I'm certainly not okay with that. I think we need to be much more open than we have been. There have been aberrations in the city of Bangalore, but, you know, this certainly is not happening in every single bar and every single pub of Bangalore for sure, because we are very, very inclusive. In fact, we are showcasing the city as an inclusive city of the future. And we need to have a mindset which is not of yesterday and not of today, but of the future. And I think host of places, you'll find that mindset.
Okay, Colin Timms, before I conclude this debate, can you
Rahul,
promise on behalf
I
of
have a
all...
small worry.
Yes,
I
Devraj,
have
go
a
on.
small worry, sorry.
Go on.
So, very, very quick question. Is it that these pub owners pick up a certain discomfort among their other clientele because of which African people are discriminated against? So, is it that their other customers are affected by the presence of... Because if that is so, then we have an even more serious problem.
Colin?
Just a question.
Colin?
Now, first of all, absolutely not. I don't think there is any discomfort that is felt by anybody over anybody else on the basis of his race. Maybe on the basis of his behavior, yes. You know, you could be an Indian of any origin, or you could be a person of any origin from any part of the world. If you're misbehaving, you will cause discomfort to the person next to you, not necessarily on the basis.
No, but
of
we
your
just
race.
heard from Clovis,
Also, let's
and
please
we've also
perspective-
seen in
please
other
put this into
instances.
perspective.
We've also
Hang
seen in
on
other
a minute.
instances
Can I
that
finish
even
what I'm
before you
saying?
know whether a person will misbehave or not, pub owners have actually sent back African students. How do you respond to that?
Can I finish what I'm saying?
Go on.
There have been stray incidents. If they have been stray, what we should investigate, how many? There are more than 200 or 300 pubs in Bangalore. Where is this problem? Maybe it is 4 or 5 places. Maybe it is bad business sense. Maybe it is just very foolish and silly behavior by the pub owners. But I don't think you can tar the entire industry with the same brush. Also, I would like to ask my African friends, they are in India, they are students. Are they being discriminated against in their colleges? Are they being discriminated against in public transport? Are they being discriminated against in hospitals? Where else is this discrimination?
Clovis, do you want to respond
And
to
if there
that?
isn't much of discrimination in other places, then why are you talking of discrimination in a stray pub? And for God's sake, please come to Pico's. There is no discrimination there. You are most welcome.
Clovis?